are now, you're rocking with the best. You are now, rocking with the best.
Welcome back
to another 605 show, the podcast you want to listen to.
You should be listening to.
And you should be listening
to.
to.
They want to, but they need
all
to.
about South Dakota.
Yeah, all about things. All things 605. What's the current issue, Alana?
Well, hi, my name's Alana Snyder. Your name is?
My name is Dan Carter.
We are your hosts.
Whoo! It's a busy day, folks.
But yeah, I'll get to that current issue. We are halfway through April already, which is crazy. We have April showers, indubitably.
Indubitably.
Yes. I was actually talking to Krista from Experience Sioux Falls about how that's when you know you're from the Midwest, when it's raining. And at first you're like, oh, darn, it's raining. But it's good for the crops.
It's good for the crops. Oh, we need it.
Oh, we needed this rain.
Oh, we need it. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it's good. Oh, it's good.
The farmers are so happy.
Yeah.
But anyways.
It is raining, though. It's been a rainy couple of weeks.
Yeah. And did you wake up from that thunderstorm last night?
Yeah, I didn't wake up from it. I just didn't sleep because of it.
Yeah. It was kind of epic.
Yeah.
And then there was like sirens. So I don't know if it hit something or if all the people up to no good were like, it's raining, I'm going out.
Oh, like the storm siren, or like there were like police,
like police or ambuli.
Ambuli. Yeah, I too spotted a herd of ambuli down there.
Yes.
Yeah, is that what they?
I get worried
when they roam in multiples. Is it?
Yeah, and then my son came to bed because he got scared, and then I did a really good job because he's only 4, and I was like, you could get electrocuted if you're on a playground and there's lightning.
Tell him to go stand outside and just hold his finger up in the air.
Yeah, and I said, and also, you could die if you're swimming and there's a thunderstorm. And so then he just was awake for another hour, and I'm like, oh, I don't know why I keep talking.
Owen's already got like pretty big eyes. So I can only imagine when you told him that news, he was just like,
yeah, and he's like, so I could die on a swing? And I was like, oh, no, this was not a good idea.
That's so funny.
But anyways, April showers brings you the April family issue.
We love it.
Our April family issue. Do you want to scare your family? Tell them stories about the lightning. The issue is out now. Read about great opportunities for kids and parents alike. Black Hills Playhouse summer camps, Simply Ever After entertainment, and Pins Bowling Alley in Del Rapids, to name a few. Grab a copy while you're out today or read online at 605magazine.com. I was sad I didn't get to go to Pins. It's like a really cool renovated, but retro bowling alley, and they have really, really good food and a really good chef.
You said it's in
Del Rapids.
Del Rapids. We'll have to make a.
We should do a little.
We'll have to make a little on the road.
A little trip.
In a former life, in the golden times, we used to go do this at restaurants. Remember that?
Oh yeah.
We used to go out on the road and set up all sorts of places.
Yeah, and then half the time we'd be by the bathrooms, so then people would stop by.
Right by the bathroom, or
what are you doing?
The noisiest corner of the room. And it's like right next to a 20 top, and they're just noisy, and
yeah,
we're sitting over there trying to do audio.
One time I think we did March Madness at a bar, and we were like,
Yep.
We didn't think about this.
Yep, it was because it was super busy. We've also done there was a full night at, I think that might have been McNally's. Shout out to the crew at McNally's. It was very busy. They were very full, which is not unusual for them. It's a great bar. But yeah, I remember when we used to do that on the road. Maybe we'll have to go to some other place and
We'll
do
have to go to Pins. Go to Del Rapids.
Yeah.
And Simply Ever After, I've actually hired them before. I hired Spider-Man to come to my son's party.
Interesting.
How'd
that
It was great.
How'd that go on?
Yeah, it was like 98 degrees, and he was in his little outfit by the pool, and he probably hated his life, but he stayed in character.
He showed up and he delivered. That's the important thing.
I'm telling you.
I have seen more. I've seen a couple posts about this. Obviously, I was looking at it with the issue, some of the photos that we had done. Yeah, seems like an interesting thing.
Yeah, and you can get I forgot some of the technical names, but isn't it like Snow Queen for wink wink Frozen?
Yeah.
Because you can't can't be saying Elsa.
What movie were they in? We were in Frigid.
We were in Chile.
Yeah. This is Emma from the movie Cold.
From Fighting Sisters.
Fighting Sisters. This is Arachnid Boy. Off-brand superhero.
It pretty much is. Somehow Rapunzel isn't. Yeah, it's like stuff like Rapunzel and Cinderella. Like you can say that because it's like
those
fairy
are public
tales.
domain. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
but anywhoozle, I digress. But upcoming events, I know it's only halfway through, but we got a lot going on in April, like the Central South Dakota Whiskey Festival, April 27th at the Missouri Avenue Event Center in Pierre at noon. Enjoy a taste of more than 100 whiskeys and bourbons. Please have a ride from around the world at the Central South Dakota Whiskey Festival. In addition to sampling the finest whiskeys, guests will have the opportunity to hear from spirit ambassadors and enthusiasts. Tickets are also provide a free masterclass from industry professionals and food from the Boathouse Bar and Grill at Spring Creek. More info, boathousesd.com/whiskeyfest.
Whiskey.
Whiskey.
Whiskey Fest.
Ooh, that sounds like heartburn to me.
Yeah. It's a fun time if you haven't been to something like that. If you are an enthusiast.
Are you an enthusiast?
I'm retired. I'm a retired enthusiast. I don't really partake anymore. But I used to sell booze for a living, and then I was in the restaurant world. So.
And which life was this? Your seventh life?
The third. The third life. Just working in restaurants, you get to know reps really well, and some of the folks from the different brands, and putting some menus together. And I will say, this is a cool event. So, if you are an enthusiast,
and if you're in Pierre,
and you're in
Pierre,
you're in Pierre at the Whiskey Festival. Boathouse Bar and Grill is a cool place, and you could also hang out in a few other places, get on the river, good time.
And Cookies, Corks, and Brews is May 2nd at the Monument in Rapid City. Times vary. Join the Girl Scouts for a one-of-a-kind fundraising event benefiting Girl Scouts Dakota Horizons. Cookies, Corks, and Brews is an adults-only event featuring Girl Scout cookie-inspired original dessert creations from chefs at some of the area's favorite restaurants. Also included in the event are plated hors d'oeuvres, wines, and bières paired with Girl Scout cookies, a live and silent auction, and additional activities. More info, visit rapidcity.com.
May 2nd.
May 2nd, check it out.
Rapid City.
And right after, at the Monument in Rapid City, the Naya Shrine Circus. Am I butchering that?
I don't know.
Or how I want to say it, the Naja.
Listen, if she's butchering it, let us know in the comments.
Yeah.
Just, call us out. Yeah.
May 3rd and 5th at the Monument, we have lions and tigers and elephants. Oh, my.
Yep.
Thank you, Greta.
Yep.
Check out the legendary 3-ring spectacle that is this podcast and the Naya Shrine Circus at the Monument. The circus features talented performers such as acrobats and clowns, as well as a host of wild animals, and is sure to be a memorable experience. More info, themonument.live.
We love the folks out at the Monument. Shout out to them. They seem like a cool crew.
Ride a camel.
You can do a lot of cool stuff out there. Yeah,
See a baby
visit
horse.
Rapid City. Go check out the Monument on your way out to Rapid City. Go
I have not been to the Monument yet. Have you?
Stop in Pier. I have.
You have?
Mm-hmm.
Flex.
I have. We do quite a few things in Rapid City, and I will be out there again next week. So I'll have to check some of these things out if I'm still out there in time.
Oh.
So I'll be out there starting next week.
Maybe you should join the circus. Am I right?
Yeah.
You're like, baby girl, I'm in the circus every day. My life's a circus.
When did I turn into like 1930, like Rodney Dangerfield, if he was in like a 1930s like Dick Tracy action movie?
Oh,
yeah.
That's what we were doing. We were doing like the detective, like, you here?
Yeah.
I've seen it all. Okay, but but guess what I haven't seen today? Our guest.
Yeah, I don't know.
Coming in from the green room.
The green room. Oh boy, and let me tell you, folks, about the green room. If you're listening or watching this, just know we went through trials and tribulations to bring you this podcast today.
It's 2024, but technology is still a fickle little.
You can say it. It's not a family show. We've said worse.
Biatch.
Yeah. Yeah. Listen, folks. It's not a family show. We know. This. Yeah.
So we have Linda Anderson joining us from Black Hills Playhouse. Come on, you're already on.
She's on. There she is. Joining us live.
Hello.
She's been very patient with technical difficulties.
Yeah.
Thank
you for your patience, Linda. It's good to have you. It's good to have you
welcome.
back.
Thank you.
I'm sure you've thought so much about what you're going to say while you were waiting. But let's start with your role at the Playhouse.
I am the executive director. So
yes.
Yeah. So I think of myself as the chief problem solver and communicator. That's what I do all day long.
How big is your main staff?
There are 10 of us.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
And is
So
your office is in Rapid?
so we have an office in Rapid City. We
Okay.
have an office in Sioux Falls,
Boom.
and we have an office in Custer State Park. So there you
There you
go.
go.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. So
Amazing.
our administrative and our development staff are in Rapid. Our education base is in Sioux Falls. And that's where we do all the creative, cool children's stuff. So yeah, so people see Black Hills Playhouse and they don't often think Sioux Falls.
Exactly. Well, now they will.
I would be one of those people.
Right.
Yes. So, talk about, so you guys are in this issue, and we got to shoot the camp last year,
Yeah.
and we got some amazing shots, and it's such a special camp that kids can join. Can you talk about that? The
Yeah.
BHP, I'm totally gonna butcher this. BHP Junior Performing Arts. Should
Yeah, that's great.
there you go. Yeah, talk
BHP
more about that.
Junior. Yeah. You know, it's a really great experience for kids. And so kids and youth, you know, we have one week that's for 5th to 8th grade. We have another week that is for 8th to 12th grade. So if your 8th grader, you know, feels comfortable with younger, you can go there. Or if they feel like they would rather be with the older, they can go there. But the camps, they're different from some theater camps that you see. They're very, we don't audition in a competitive basis. And we really want to meet kids where they are. So when they come out to camp, you know, we've got kids that come from all over the state. And you've got kids that come from urban centers that have lots of arts, and you have kids that come from rural places or tribal communities that maybe have, you know, different arts or not as much support. And so it's really important to us that they can come, they can unplug, right? We take all the cell phones and they're locked in a little box.
It's like a
And
reality show.
yeah, it is a little. But the camp is outside of Rapid City at a camp called Placerville, and it's a beautiful setting in the Black Hills National Forest. There are cabins. It's kind of old timey, you know, so kids can do art, but they can also do, you know, they can do nature stuff. They can hike, they can canoe. It's just a time for them to kind of recenter themselves and it's that journey of discovery with the arts. So some kids come and they're super hot to get on stage and they really want to, you know, they want to do the acting thing, but there are others that are more interested in the technical. You know, they want to do the behind the scenes stuff that's as fascinating and as important as the actors on the stage. And so we work really hard to make sure that they belong and they feel like they can explore.
Right. And then talk about that. They have like a final show that they work on.
Yep, they do. So they work for a week and they'll be doing Frozen Junior this year. And so, you know, they work all week on both the tech and also the lines and the songs and everything. And then they perform at the end of the week. And it's always a lot of fun. All the parents and family and people come out and it's a gorgeous time.
How do they do like rock, paper, scissors for who's Elsa?
No, they audition. They audition.
Oh, I know, yeah. But
Yeah.
it gets rough out there.
Yeah.
And I will say they have the license to Frozen Junior, so they
Yes,
can
we
say
do. We
they
can
can say
say Frozen
Frozen.
Junior.
We
Yeah,
can't.
we're paying the royalties.
Okay, as long as you are, because if
Yeah.
we get a check, if we get a bill in the mail from Disney after this episode,
You
we're just
just
gonna
point
forward
them
that
our
on to
way.
you. Yeah,
That's right.
because we're over here dealing with the movie Cold, or
I
whatever we
see.
said earlier. Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
but you know,
Do
so
they
kids
come up
when
with the
they come, they
costumes and
do-
stuff too?
Yep, they do
Oh,
costumes
cool.
and all of that. So when they come in, they do an audition, but it's a really different kind of audition because they haven't seen the music. They probably know the story because like everybody does, right?
Right, right.
But they're not rehearsed and trying out in that way. And so it's a really interesting process to watch the auditions actually. And sometimes, you know, it's surprising. Sometimes people get casts that maybe have never had a lead,
Oh, that's awesome.
right? So it's a great place, and it's all about their discovery and their development. The other thing is we have a super generous we've got some great donors that help us out. And so if there are kids that want to go, there's a little bit of sticker shock when you go out and you see the price because it's $950 for the week, which is a sleepaway camp with all the food and everything.
Right.
But about 55% of the kids that come are getting some form of tuition assistance, and we raise money specifically for that.
That's great.
We do our best. We've never turned anybody away. So
That's so cool. And that's such a big moment for like a kid to go to sleepaway camp,
it is. It is. A lot of times these kids, especially the younger group, they've never been, away from home. And so it's really important. And I think after COVID too, there's a lot of, parent anxiety with parents. And so they want to know that their kids are going to a safe place where they can get updates and feel confident. It's usually the parents who are actually kind of like, I want to be able to text my kid.
Yeah.
Right.
And they can't. So
the kids are looking forward for a week away from the, mom and dad.
Yeah.
whoever they got at home. They're looking for a week away.
So they're actually the camp is our cover for this issue. And it's just like, it reminds me of that just like old school awesome camp vibe.
Like the summer camp, the old classic.
Like awesome crafts and I'm going back to that voice, I'm sorry.
I don't know why it keeps coming out. And like again, Linda, I'm sorry you got to deal with this. We try to run a professional show every now and again, but like just sometimes, again, it's in the air. I've got a question. Like, so age ranges, and this might just be out of my own ignorance, but like age ranges for the kids, like what are we dealing with? Like, I know you've said you got younger groups, you got some older groups.
Yeah. So
what's the span?
Wow. I don't even know if I can remember. I've raised 4 boys. However, it's 5th grade. Somebody tell me quick. I don't know how old a 5th grader is.
Oh gosh.
Yep. Google maybe. 5th to 8th grade.
15.
5th to 8th grade. Yeah, I got no idea.
You stumped me.
I was a 5th grader once, and I was an 8th grader twice, so I don't know.
I would say probably maybe 11 or 12. I would say.
Oh yeah, that seems like a normal sleep a week. 10 or 11. Yeah.
Yeah.
Our technical advisor has said 10 or 11. 1. 10 or 11, and then 8th grade's got to be what, 13, 14? I don't know.
How many campers do you have at a time?
Between 50 and 60.
Jeez.
It's a big group.
Wait, so how do you get the counselors?
They can apply online. So we have kind of a combination of like older high school kids and just people who want to get into that camp setting. One of my board members was a counselor last year. That was cool.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah.
So do you have students or what are campers? Is that what we call them?
Yes.
Campers. We have campers.
Yeah.
Like you said, like this year they're doing this play. Have you seen? It's got to be interesting, right? Like you get to see all these productions because I imagine there's more than one week or more than one version of a production, or is it just kind of the one? How does that work with the camp? Like, do you see kids year over year where you're like, oh, I saw them last year.
Yeah.
Now they're back doing this, and like that's kind of something cool. Like what's that like? Seeing kids go through this maybe year over year, or doing different versions of plays and seeing people progress.
It's really fantastic. Like we do this for the families, right? But there's a little selfish part of it too, which is about developing your own artistic people. And one thing that was cool last year is we hired 2 people who at the Playhouse, which is professional actors from all over the country, right? And professional tech people from all over the country. That's who we hire. And we hired 2 young people who had gone through camp.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so if you think about it, so our other program, Dakota Players, right? Dakota Players goes out to communities all over the state. We'll be in 52 locations this year. They bring a musical where kids work for a week and they in their own hometown, right? They learn a musical and then they perform it at the end of the week. So kids start that's K through 12. So we've also had people that we hire that started with Dakota Players and then they went to camp. And then they, were in their high school productions and then went to college and then joined us. So, there is this ladder of opportunity that we're trying to create across South Dakota. And we go to places with Dakota Players. Like here, let's do a little trivia. Have you ever been to Bullhead, South Dakota?
No.
No? Bullhead, South Dakota is in the northern part of the state, kind of over from Mobridge. 323 people in this community. Have you been to Dewey? Dewey, South Dakota.
I have not.
I have not visited there. I'm familiar with his signature decimal system, however,
Oh,
assuming it's
So
the same guy.
yeah, so I don't know, probably. But Dewey, South Dakota is the smallest school district in South Dakota. They have 23 students K through 12. And so Dakota Players took their program to, which Dakota Players is Black Hills Playhouse. They went to Dewey, South Dakota, and they worked with 16 of those 23. Some of them they couldn't work with because they were pre-K.
oh,
Right. So anyway, those places are really special to us.
that's really neat. And 1 week to learn a musical is
Yeah.
pretty impressive. That's
Yeah.
like the SNL people.
Yeah,
You know
we
what I'm
take
saying?
sound
Yeah.
and we go to the community, we take sound, lights, costumes, we take the whole shebang. And not every location has a theater, so we perform in gyms and classrooms and community centers and churches, all kinds of places.
That's super interesting because it's like you think about like an opportunity like you wouldn't get if I live in Dewey, South Dakota. Like I'm not gonna have a massive opportunity to do a ton of stuff like that.
So Dewey,
You know what I mean? Like,
he has
in terms
brothers,
of-
right? Huey and Louie.
Yes, they
I think is that the right one too?
yeah, they're in Mallard stories.
Yeah, so
Mallards.
Dewey is it's about a mile from the Wyoming border. It's
Oh.
actually out in the Black Hills region, kind of around Edgemont, but it's about a mile from the Wyoming border. So these are places, a lot of ranch families,
Yeah.
and these consolidated school systems. So, getting arts to rural places, we know, I mean, I work in this business, so we know what arts do for kids, right?
Right.
It's that creative imagination, that spark. Kids that sometimes don't work well in the traditional classroom setting do super well when they get to do creative activities. And, so anyway, we're super concerned with getting that out, so there's more opportunity across our state. We want to grow artists everywhere. We're planting the seeds.
I love that. I love that. And also to go back to the camp, what
Yeah.
a cool way if you're not from the Black Hills area to like drop your kid off and then you could spend the week in
Yeah.
the Black Hills.
Yep,
Child free.
we field we field a lot of kind of touristy calls that way.
Oh, there you go.
Here's what you can do, and here's what you can do.
Oh yeah, I'm sure.
Here's where you can stay. It's cool.
But
Very cool.
could you tell me about the value of intentional storytelling,
Oh, sure, I can.
please?
Yes. So, COVID was a time when the Black Hills Playhouse for the first time. So we started in 1946. This is our 78th season. The
Wow.
only year we did not perform was 2020 and the COVID year. And during that time, so we had a lot of time to think. We had a lot of time to think about who we were and what we wanted to accomplish and if theater was ever going to come back. We had all of those 3 a.m. kind of conversations with ourselves. But one of the things we came away with as a staff and a board was how can we think that there's a lot of need for communication. You look at the world and kind of this polarization of ideas where people aren't speaking to each other. And, we've got a lot of that in our state. And so intentional storytelling is about choosing things that, first of all, represent all of the communities, right? That we've got diverse people on our stage telling stories, just wanting to show the whole spectrum of the human experience. And so, we've done shows like The Mountaintop. I know that John came out for that a couple of years ago. The Mountaintop was a fictional show about the last night that Martin Luther King was alive. And it was an incredible production. But it kind of set the stage for conversations. People came thinking, they weren't sure if they were going to like it. They loved it.
Yeah.
Thinking about things. Silent Sky we did last year. Silent Sky was a show about Henrietta Swan Leavitt, who was an astronomer, one of the first kind of lost to history. The kinds of things she discovered in the stars made the Hubble technology possible. And so anyway, but she was kind of lost to history. And so Lauren Gunderson, the playwright, wrote a play called Silent Sky. So we did that last year. And we also did a show called The Lifespan of a Fact, which you guys, we talked about last year. But the lifespan of a fact was, about truth in journalism and what's a fact and where can you, mess with the facts. And
which is huge right now.
Yeah. We worked with South Dakota News Watch on that. And then this year, we're doing The Little Mermaid. And so we're going to talk about clean water, clean oceans. What can we do in our own backyard to, the rivers go to the oceans, right? So what can we do to help keep our oceans and our rivers healthy? We're doing The Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, which in polite society, we say the best little wit.
Oh, yes. I've always wanted to see that.
Yeah. But Best Little Whorehouse in Texas, just making a nod to the fact that, people don't get into prostitution because it's fun and, that providing resources for our local domestic shelter and creating awareness that way. And the last show we're doing this year is the Curious Incident of the Dog in the Nighttime. And Curious Incident is about a young person who has an extraordinary brain, and he doesn't like to be touched, doesn't like to be hugged. They never quite say exactly, what his challenges are, but you could probably equate it to autism or, Asperger's syndrome. But the show is a mystery. A dog is killed and he's blamed for that. And you see from his perspective how he thinks and how he works out who actually killed the dog.
Ooh,
And
I like that.
Oh my gosh, it's a super cool story. It was a very popular book a few years ago. So anyway, we're working with, the Autism Society of the Black Hills and advocates for neurodivergence to, talk about those conversations. Out here in West River, there is, we keep talking to parents who are just, there aren't enough resources. It's really hard. I was a single mom for a while with my kids. And I've got children of my own who are neurodivergent, and it can be really hard to be just, getting through your day to day and even finding the resources you need and then trying to figure out the whole school thing. So anyway, we're hoping that by lifting this up, by talking about this, by putting resources on our website, that we can help people be more aware. So, art is so many things. Entertainment is certainly the best, get out and see stuff and, relax. But it's also about the ability to have conversations.
Mm-hmm.
I really like that.
It's kind of a looking glass, right? I mean, like think about many other mediums or ways you could try to get some of those topics in front of people.
Right.
It's like you have the opportunity to you can do something creative, you can do something artistic and talk about, you know what I mean? People who are experiencing, challenges with being neurodivergent. Or you can talk about, environmental stuff. You can talk about social things. We can talk about all that cool stuff through a lens of, hey, watch something creative, like these really, again, popular books, popular shows. That's kind of like one of the best, I think, I don't know, call it a mirror, right? Call it a social looking glass where we can hold something up and be like, hey, check this out. So if I wanted to do a play about bad accents,
talk about it.
We'll talk about it. We're just going to talk about it.
Oh, and to clarify, the season is at the Custer State Park.
It is
beautiful venue. So.
Yeah. Custer State Park, just a glorious location. We'll live with about 65 artists who come from all over the country. They live in dorms and eat in our dining hall, and they create this incredible work. And then the only show I didn't mention was The Play That Goes Wrong. I don't know if you guys know this show, but it's literally engineered so the whole set falls apart while the show goes on.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It is. It's funny. It's a farce, and it's so darn funny.
Without planning it, I think we've been doing a reenactment of that.
Single time we did this
for a few years now.
Yeah, I want to go back to what you said though about the mirror thing, because that's really true. The thing I think is so fun, like one of my favorite sports is audience watching. Like I watch the audiences and I talk to people. We'll have about 17,000 people come to see shows at the Playhouse over
Wow.
our 12 weeks, right? And you see people come to the theater with their, with themselves, like what their thought process is and what their beliefs are and what their values are. And you can have two people watch the same show and come away with vastly different thoughts depending on what they're bringing in, so it really is that reflection.
Right.
And it's fun to watch that. One of my favorite things to do is to watch kids at the theater, because our venue is like 350 seats, and so they are so close to the actors, and they're so close to these performers, and they just, it's, you don't get that kind of experience
Right.
these days. You're watching things through a screen or you're in a big arena, but that, community kind of, oh my gosh, I can feel the sweat of the actors as it comes off. You're super you're super close, and I think that's really kind of a transformational thing for young people and older
Right.
people.
Yeah,
Right.
I agree. That's
Yeah, I
super
like
cool.
sweat.
Well, hey,
Well, we have
never claimed to be
two
a
really
family
quick
show.
little games.
Oh, I love games.
Yes. So one's more of just kind of like a name game, and it's called "What Did Shakespeare Call You?" So first, Linda, you were L, obviously.
I am.
So he would call you Dankish. And what's your middle initial?
L. Linda.
LL?
LL.
Dankish, sheep biting, clot pole.
Do you mind me asking what the second initial stands for? Because I'm really hoping it's Linda.
No, I'm so sorry.
Ah,
No,
Linda.
it's Linda Lee, Lea. Linda Lee.
that's a beautiful name.
I like that. What's your
Oh,
middle
thank you.
initial?
My middle initial is classified and redacted.
Okay, well, I'm not wanted somewhere, so mine's droning,
Droning?
bat fouling, strumpet.
A strumpet.
That's the only word you said that I understood. So I understood strumpet, but I didn't get the rest.
Bat
So
fouling?
my first name is technically Ian, so my middle initial is D. For Daniel.
Oh,
So I would be an infectious, dizzy-eyed harpy, which fairly apropos. Thank you. Our technical advisor has just informed me that is in fact correct.
You mean infection?
Infectious, dizzy-eyed harpy.
Yeah. Well, mine said sheep biting. Yeah. Okay.
I'm into it. But here's the real game. Shakespeare trivia and insults.
I've tried to not look at the answers because I know the answers were on that page. So I did not look.
Okay.
That's good, because
Should I look so I can...
I know someone should look. I'm okay with looking. Or do you want to know the answers, or do you want to ask us?
I'll ask you guys.
You sure?
And then I'll know the answers. Okay.
Okay.
Wait, what? Oh, I got you. Okay, if music... Oh, yeah, sorry. Which play did these famous lines come from? 1. If music be the food of love, play on. Is it Twelfth Night, Hamlet, Macbeth, or A Midsummer Night's Dream?
Wow, my artistic director's going to kill me if I don't know this. I'm going to say Twelfth Night.
Dan?
Macbeth.
Linda's correct.
C.
See, there, I won't be mad at you. Next up, we have Parting is Such Sweet Sorrow. Is that Antony and Cleopatra, King Lear, Much Ado About Nothing, or Romeo and Juliet?
I know what it's not.
Which
Really?
is?
I am fairly certain it's King Lear. It's not King Lear because I haven't heard of that one.
You haven't heard of that one?
No, I don't know. I'm not
King
a Shakespeare
Lear?
buff.
Oh,
You're
I'm
so
gonna say
infectious.
Yeah, that's harpy
It's-
behavior is what it is.
it's R&J.
Yep, you are correct. Coming in hot.
2 for 2.
To be or not to be, that is
What do
the
I
question. Is to be or not to be, that is the question. Macbeth, Julius Caesar, Hamlet, or Othello?
That one is not Julius Caesar. I know that for a fact.
It's
Um,
Hamlet.
Oh.
Hamlet.
I saw a modern Hamlet last summer, 2 summers ago. Outside the Oxford Castle, flex, and it was
flex.
pretty
Oh my
great.
I bet.
Twas magical.
Jeez, have fun up there in that tax bracket. Jeez, it'd be great. Be over there.
Number 4, to thine own self be true. Is it R&J, A Midsummer Night's Dream, Hamlet, or Macbeth?
You've been killing it so far. I'm gonna guess B, but we all know that my performance thus far has been
I'm going to
abysmal.
say Midsummer Night's Dream.
It's just Hamlet.
Are we
Right?
fact checking?
Oh, yeah. Greta says yeah.
Are we fact
Okay.
checking? 4C.
Okay.
Hamlet.
Number 5, last but not least, Linda's kicking booty. There's no more faith in thee than in a stewed prune.
Mm.
Is it Henry VIII, Titus Andronicus, Romeo and Juliet, or The Merchant of Venice?
Oh my gosh.
That was hard.
Runes. I don't know. I'm going to say Henry VIII.
And you guessed right! Ow, I hit myself in the face.
I guess I won.
If you're just listening to the 605 show, you are making a mistake.
I'm going to need an eye patch.
You need to be watching the 605 show so you can experience what I just experienced, which is, you were, yes, you were.
Can you get a paper cut in your eye?
Foisted by your own cards, or whatever the line is.
But most importantly, Linda, where can people catch up with the Black Hills Playhouse and all the things you offer?
Yeah. You can go to blackhillsplayhouse.com. Has everything you want to know. And in Sioux Falls on May 9th and 10th, we're doing The Wizard of Oz at Dakota Abilities.
Oh,
That's our expanding stage program where we make theater accessible to people with disabilities.
I love it.
Do you do that in the that primary when it's like the beautiful old I don't know if there's a
Yeah.
gymnasium right there in the activity center?
Yep,
Very
we do
cool.
it at Longfellow. Yeah, it's
Very
fantastic. It really is. It's theater at its essence. We work with, I think there are 5 people in wheelchairs, 4 people who are nonverbal, lots of different disabilities. So doing theater that way is a challenge and it's a joy.
Right. That's awesome.
Very cool. Well, you guys do a lot of cool work.
Yeah.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming and chatting with us again.
Dan's available for the role of Toto.
Yeah, I'm available I got a lot of Shakespeare to learn, so hit me up. Have Shakespeare in the park.
For sure. Well, thank you for your time and thank you for your patience and thank you to the listeners for your patience.
Well, they don't
Another
know.
episode.
It's all a production. You know what I mean? It's a
Very
family show.
Yeah. I'm going to go get a patch for my eye and thank you for your time, Dan.
Yeah, as always.
See you later.
See you on the next one.
Alligator.
Trailman, man, let's go. You are now rocking with the. You are now you're rocking with the best. You are now